Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world, to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
Big fights at the top of the bill tonight. Alicia Baumgardner makes the first defence of her WBC World Super Featherweight title. Bilham Smith, Tommy McCarthy will run it back after that brilliant first clash for the European Cruiserweight title. And there is the main event. If you need a reminding, South African Chris Van Heerden, can he throw a spanner in the works, or will Conor Benn march on towards his ambitions of a first world title at 147? It's all live on Dazn from 7 p.m. Welcome to Before the Bell. Chris Lloyd here, Darren Barker alongside me as always. We've got two fights for you to come before the main show starts at 7 o'clock local time. Thomas Whittaker and Ben Ridings, the two are already in the ring, ready to do battle, and then we'll see cruiserweight sensation Jordan Thompson against Mariano Angel Godinho. That is all to come over the next half an hour or so, and we are ready to go here in Manchester. Without further ado, let's hand you over to our MC for the introductions. Here's David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Manchester, England. We are live on Dazn for a big night of world-class professional boxing. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We are sponsored by Betfred and JD Sports. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Mr. Robin Smith. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell for our first contest, from Liverpool, A-star referee, Mr. Mark Lyson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He scaled 12 stone, 6 pounds. His professional record, 5 wins against 1 defeat. He fights out of Barry, introducing the machine, Ben Ridings. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the gray trunks with the blue and silver trim. He scaled 12 stone, 7 pounds. His professional record thus far perfect, 6 fights, 6 victories, with 3 of them coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Liverpool, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Thomas Whittaker Hard.
Okay, boys, both know the rules. I want you to obey my commands. Tell you to break clean. Defend yourselves at all times, boys. Good luck to you both.
The referee, Mark Lyson, just delivering the final instructions to the fighters. We kick off with an 8-rounder at light heavyweight here in Manchester.
Time, please.
Round 1.
And there is Thomas Whittaker on your screen in the gunmetal grey trim with blue, and his opponent Ben Ridings, 24 years of age, 5-1. That one defeat to Jez Smith, who himself proved to be more than just a handful for some top British and European fighters. He went 6 rounds with Ridings, and was agreed at £166 from memory. Smith came up from 147 for the fight. Of course, it's Ridings who's got to light heavyweight. He boxed there last year against Ben Thomas. They have a mutual opponent in common. It took Ridings 4 rounds to win on points. Whittaker bodied him in December inside 90 seconds. And well, he's had a very tough journey back. Whittaker, we mentioned in fight week the illness, the battle with pneumonia, meningitis, had a huge cyst on his lung that they thought was cancerous for some time, and lucky to have saved his lung and saved his life in the process, Darren. But well, he was brilliant on his comeback.
Really good. It was intelligent stoppage, so brutal. Tapped upstairs, dropped downstairs, beautiful body shot, and got the job done. You can see the difference in size. Thomas Whittaker stalking Ben Ridings. He looks big, controls the distance really well behind the jab. He's well scored. He's got that tremendous amateur pedigree. Very, very intelligent. Doesn't waste much. Everything comes behind a beautiful jab. Measures his opponents, and you can see there the shots to the body. Really, really good variation. So I think it's a case of Ben Ridings just seeing this opening round, just trying to, I wouldn't quite call it weathering a storm, but just sort of trying to get this first round out of the way. Try and land some shots of his own, but right now it's Thomas Whittaker on the front foot, looking dangerous.
Yeah, and it was a vicious hook to the body that he caught right under the elbow that dropped Ben Thomas so early in their contest, and he's at a cut just appeared above the right eye of Ben Ridings, who's, as you rightly mentioned, just staying on his toes, keeping mobile, doesn't want to allow Whittaker Hart to be able to plant his feet. No, there's a cut over Whittaker Hart's eye as well. So clearly a clash of heads that has affected both fighters in equal measure here, as Ridings just tries to step in under that shelter jab with 40 seconds to go in this opening round. Whittaker Hart just fizzes a right hand round the corner as Ridings is just moving into that clockwise path of that right hand a little too much. Now boxed into the corner.
Yeah, lots of variation with that backhand of Thomas Whittaker Hart. He throws that rear hand to the body so well. He can straighten it up, he can curve it, turn it into a nice hook. And we see that's a lovely jab and right hook followed. Beautiful shot. Shame about the cuts, definitely a clash of heads. Talk about Thomas Whittaker Hart and the build-up this week, just about him being active. And hopefully that cut's not too bad. It doesn't look too bad because he'll want to be out as soon as possible.
He's grateful to be doing what he loves again. Had a really good win over Jermaine Springer. Whittaker Hart was over 8 November 2020 on the undercard of Katie Taylor and Miriam Gutierrez at Wembley during the height of the pandemic. Let's have a look here if we can see. It was a lovely little corkscrew uppercut there from Ridings as he stepped in, probably the most meaningful shot that he landed in that first round. Well, he was just kind of marauding in with his head when he did attack there. And then we're going to have a look at what did cause the cut. Yeah, just dropping in underneath, and well, the shorter fighter against the taller fighter, the heads come together, and well, they have both just had a little nick open above the eye.
Yeah, it's a shame. Thankfully, the cuts don't look too bad, so it shouldn't affect the contest.
Round 2.
Kind of speculative opening round from Whittaker Hart, just moving his man around, having a look at him, gathering a little bit of data. Will he start to look for specific shots now? Just breaks a long right hand round the side. Ridings down. It was a little predictable with the direction of his movement in that first round, just trying to shimmy left and right, but at some point I feel he's got to try and do something if he has any ambitions of winning this fight.
Yeah. Such a good counter puncher though, Whittaker Hart. Every time Ben Ridings comes in, tries to mount an attack, moves the feet. Thomas Whittaker Hart just senses that, he sees it, quick reactions, jumps out of range and fires back with good, sharp combination. Very, very intelligent boxer. Yet to really let the right hand go. I said he's got great variation with it, but showing lots of patience so far. Whittaker Hart, this is good work from Ridings. He's got to be busy. I think when you're fighting someone like Thomas Whittaker Hart, who's obviously taller, bigger, work the body first. Some success there, Ben Ridings, to the body of Thomas Whittaker Hart, who fires back with a lovely left to the body of his own.
And certainly it's caught the attention of Kieran Farrell in his corner, who looks happy with a little burst and rate of his man in round 2, minute 30 on the clock. Whittaker Hart just trying to jab him as he steps off to his right-hand side. He's found his range with that. A little bit more blood just appearing on the right brow of Ridings. The cut over the same brow of Whittaker Hart seems to have stemmed its flow. And again, just boxed into the corner. Just trying to slip off the line. Counters in. Lovely combination there.
Short right hand from Ridings. He's growing in confidence here. Still circling the ring, moving an awful lot. You may have felt the power of Thomas Whittaker Hart, but like I say, having more success, and I think he feels he'll grow into this contest.
looking for the right hand all the time, Ben, yeah?
The thing with Thomas Whitaker, he doesn't waste much, but that does slow his pace down ever so slightly. Work behind the jab, but doesn't really, you know, let the shots go in 3s and 4s. More, you know, 1s and 2s. Very, very smart with his attack. Sort of eliminates that risk of getting caught. See the feet there, always poised to move backwards out of range, as he does again there. Opting not to throw the right hand. Just jumping in a bit with his attacks, Ben Ridings, as opposed to banging those feet in.
Work there, stay there.
Trying to work with Whitaker Hart now on the instruction of Kieran Farrell in the corner. That was a decent round on the back foot from Ridings. Whitaker Hart a little more success with the straight shots, caught on the counter a couple of times when he had the Berry man boxed into the corner, and I heard Declan O'Rourke there just asking for him to try and pick the pace up now. And well, the truth is the last fight with Ben Thomas was over so quickly, and this is where he was just moving anti-clockwise into that half of the left hand from Whitaker Hart, and he did find himself boxed into the corner on occasion. Lovely stiff jab from the Rotunda fighter, but we don't know how fresh and how well he has recovered after major surgery and a long time out, because, as I say, the fight with Ben Thomas was over so quickly. Ben Ridings just drag him into later into the fight and see what he is made of. It's sensible tactics from the man on your screen so far.
Let's go.
A bit more urgency from Thomas Whitaker Hart in this round. Come out straight out, he's thrown 3 jabs already. 1-2, dropping the left of the body. I think there was a little slip there from Ben Ridings. Again, opting to move. Just feel he felt the power. That size is obvious in there as well. For us sat here at ringside, really can see the difference. The stature between the two of them.
Yeah, tall light heavyweight and heavy hands as well when he catches fighters at full extension. You mentioned Ridings just rushing him in the previous round. You get the sense that part of that is to try and close that space down and get safe. The kind of position he is now, doesn't want to get hit at full length by the right hand with his feet planted, this kind of range. When he is boxed in the corner, and see Whitaker Hart just aimed a little lower with that right hand as Ridings just dipped down to his right hand side, as he has done a couple of times when Whitaker Hart has fired those shots at him in the corner.
Yeah, he chopped down with that right hand. It was a lovely shot, but it was a good response from Riding to come back with 2 hooks, a left and a right. Does need to try and land his own shots, moving an awful lot. He is a very fit fighter, Riding. I've watched him in the past. He does set a decent pace, so I know he's got the engine. Good left hook there, covered up there with the right hand, though Whitaker Hart taking it on the gloves. So yeah, he can fight at a pace, Ben Riding, so he don't want to, it's only 6 rounds, so he doesn't want to be waiting too long. These rounds will slip away from him.
Right? Before we go, bro, you're going to be in the van, Ben, yeah? That's his feet. Switch on. Hey. Push. Hey. More touching. Push. Work inside, okay? Catch your coat there, bro, yeah? Left up, put inside. Inside, left on up. Push.
To the body again, looking for the uppercut. I think that's a good shot for Thomas Whitaker Hart to look for, as Ben Ridings is a fair bit shorter than the uppercut is the shot for the shorter man. But he's just trying to bring Ridings on to the shot. He's not taking the bait as of yet.
Yeah, I think he's just slowed a little bit from Ridings in this last couple of minutes of round number 3. That's just given Whitaker Hart opportunities to start to sit down on shots to the body and come back in that second phase, because Riding is staying there when he wasn't for the first 2, and he's just trying to now jab his way to some space, but again just backing himself into the corner, trying to come back, turn his man. But Whitaker Hart is big, he's physical. I fancy that this will take more out of Ridings than it will do out of the Liverpool fighter. 3 rounds in the books then, with a scheduled 8 here in Manchester. Plenty to come to. Jordan Thompson up next against Mariano Angel Godinho, who you may remember fought Lawrence Okoli 2 or 3 years ago, and he first linked up with Shane McGuigan. And then we go live on Dazn, 7 o'clock local time. You're seeing Jack Cullen back in action after losing out to Kevin Sajo for the European Cruiserweight, European Super Middleweight title, beg your pardon. Lisa Baumgartner will be making the first defence of her WBC Super Featherweight title against Edith Matisse. Campbell Hatton will be making his debut in the Manchester Arena. Of course, Chris Smith and Tommy McCarthy running it back after that brilliant first encounter for the European Cruiserweight title. All sets us up very nicely indeed for Conor Benn and Chris Van Heerden later on tonight, live on DAZN. Into the fourth then. Whittaker Hart, if you just joined us, in the grey trunks trimmed with blue, the blue gloves. Ben Ridings, his opponent, in the white trunks trimmed with red. And Ridings just a sense down, maybe slowing down a little, and that is presenting opportunities for Whittaker Hart as we hit the midpoint of the fight.
Yeah, and with that, I'd like to see Thomas Whittaker Hart just go through the gears a little bit more. Touched it before, you know, he's very smart, doesn't waste much, eliminates that risk of getting caught. But just want to see him just go through the gears a little bit more. 2s and 3s, go again. Signs the start of this fourth, like you say, Ryden might be feeling the pace. We might see Thomas go through the gears a little more.
Just look for that corkscrew uppercut that we saw early on in the first round. Whittaker Hart just took his feet back with him, and again just got him pinned in the corner, now blocking the exit off to the left-hand side. Ridings just grins to his corner team, Kieran Farrell and Ed Harrison, who took Peter McGrail through his debut in Liverpool back end of last year, and he's working away here.
Through a nice right hand there, Whittaker Hart was coming forward. It was a good shot. In trouble with the plug in, but something to work off of for Riding. It's a little scrappy at times. When Thomas Whittaker Hart's looking to mount an attack, sort of end up in a clinch. He's got to get behind that jab again, plenty of feints, try and draw the lead out of Riding, but not taking the fight. There's that right hand again, just took the sting out of it. Just needs to go through the gears.
Come on, don't hold him. Let him go. You hold him, Ben. You hold him.
Whips away to the body. That was nice.
It was uppercut left to it, and then dropped the left to the body. Nice shot.
Stiff jab and a straight right hand down the pipers. Again, Riding just boxed himself into that corner. It seems to be part of the tactic, though, to kind of almost bait him into the corner and try and counter him as he comes in. He's doing it again here, just almost trying to dress Whittaker Hart up, and he's had a couple of moments of success, but those dead straight shots down the middle from Whittaker Hart, and aiming it down when he's dipping low as well.
He's looking for his Jordan Gill moment.
I think we all are really in our dreams, aren't we? Or nightmares, depending on how you look at it. 30 seconds in the fourth to go. That's the counter really he's looking for, isn't it? Just the slip. Let the jab sail past and kind of gets him into range. He shakes his head, Ridings, as they come together. Luckily the cuts seem to have sutured up. That's a good job from the corner teams. Cat and mouse, isn't it? Whittaker Hart knows he's looking to set that trap, doesn't want to take the bait.
Yeah, just got a little scrappy in that round. Felt every time Thomas Whittaker Hart was trying to mount an attack, Ben Riding just holding on and stopping the work. I mean, doing the right thing if you're in the corner of Ben Riding. That's exactly what you want him to do. Firing back with some shots at himself. But that was the best eye-catching combination of the round there. For the lovely right uppercut, left hook to the head, drops it to the bottom, to the body. Does it so quickly. So I'd like to see him do that again, you know, 3 shot combinations, go again. That's the only thing missing from Thomas Whittaker Hart. And you see that with a lot of the top amateurs, you know, that have that good pedigree. They eliminate that risk. I keep saying, you know, if you're letting lots of shots go, you are obviously vulnerable to opening. So you do see that with top amateurs. I just want to see him go through the gears a little bit more.
Round 5.
Yeah, he comes from good pedigree. Whittaker Hart beat Arman Rizbek in the World Series boxing, the Kazakh, when he was just 21. Or Julio La Cruz, the best amateur light heavyweight in the world, really, in the last probably 15 years. That was 8 weeks or so before La Cruz won gold at Rio, boxed out of the Rotunda Club. He was dominant in the ABA final to be crowned national champion against Lyndon Arthur. And he's still a young man, relatively speaking, now, given the time out he's had. That was a lovely counter, right hand under the elbow from Ben Ridings. Of course, with the pandemic and with illness and everything that's happened, has really kind of kiboshed his progress. I think he will feel, if he gets through this tonight, that he will want to fast track into the domestic mix. And there are some decent fighters around the circuit. Dazn, of course, becoming British champion a few months ago. Guys like Ricky Summers, Jose Burton, all winnable fights for him, but good domestic scraps that will kind of put his name on the map. He just caught with the right hand down the middle as he looks for the uppercut there, Whittaker Hart. And Ben Ridings having moments of success on the back foot. You always get the sense that Whittaker Hart is in control of the contest, and that is important in terms of the momentum of the fight. Minute 30 in the 5th.
Yeah, just need to stay switched on though, Thomas Whittaker Hart. Now and again, Ben Ridings has had success with that right hand. He was chopping right hand when he was backed in the red corner. So just a reminder, just to stay switched on. It only takes a split second, one shot can end it. But otherwise, he's been in control, Thomas Whittaker Hart, on the front foot, working well behind the jab. He never touched on that amateur pedigree, and I think at the start of this round, this 5th round, you can see there was a double jab. He stepped out of range and fired another jab and shaded what makes you a very good, successful amateur. Just, again, it's just been that going through the gears. All I've wanted to see is up the tempo a little bit. We've seen the gunshots come out of Ben Ridings there.
I know.
Oof, that was a big clash of heads as Ridings leapt in there.
Do one thing though, if this does go the distance, I think part of it's an 8-rounder, not a 6-rounder. You know, I think these are valuable rounds, especially what Thomas Whittaker Hart's been through with the health, etc. Just to get those rounds under his belt would be the worst thing in the world.
There's an element of confidence required when you've had what he's been through. It was great to see him back in faster fashion against Ben Thomas, but we didn't find anything out about how he is since those illnesses and the surgeries, and I think he probably would like to find a little bit out himself, and he is here tonight, just having a couple of stiff shots there, and Ridings again just took his feet back on the jab there.
I mean, on the flip side, you know, talking an awful lot about Thomas Whittaker Hart, big fan of his. I think he's a very good fighter, but you know, if you're Ben Ridings, I think he's just got to let his hands go. He's got to work a little bit more. He's trying for that right hand, but I just don't think he punches hard enough to trouble Thomas Whittaker Hart. So there's no point looking for one shot. He needs volume, he needs work rate, he's got to be busy. Said it before, he's a very fit lad. You see in his contest, he likes to set a high pace, high work rate, so he's got to try and let his shots go, get busy with the shots. But it's very difficult when you're in there with someone well scored like Thomas Whittaker Hart, who moves his feet very, very well out of range.
So 3 rounds to go here in Manchester. First contest on before the bell. Thanks for joining us wherever you're watching around the country and around the world. Bank holiday weekend in Manchester. Plenty of action to come live on DAZN from 7 o'clock. Thomas Whittaker Hart and Ben Ridings 6 rounds into their contest. Jordan Thompson and Mario Angel Godino to come next. Just feinting his way into range with the feet. Whittaker Hart just measuring the distance with that jab, and again Ridings just slips on that signage, which he did a couple of rounds ago.
the right hand. They felt that one. Ben Ridings, as he was crouching down. Another right hook. Lovely shot. This is better from Thomas Whitaker-Hart. Let that right hand go a bit more. Very accurate with the shot.
I just wonder whether when he does box Ridings into that corner, he needs to be ready to kind of take that half step back, because Ridings is trying to rush him like he does there. And that's kind of bread and butter from the junior amateur days. He did spend a long time up on that system, just that kind of laid back counter right hand as Ridings comes at him. He kind of rinse-repeat in terms of the pattern of the fight. Just trying to back himself up onto the ropes, then boxes himself into the corner, tries to kind of set a trap for the counter right hand. Just kind of cancelled each other out, where Whitaker-Hart has landed the meaningful shots in the contest and has been really the boss of the fight. Stiff jab again. Oh, left hook. He's lifted up a little bit tall as he closed the gap there, Ridings. Did that hurt him? He's hanging on. Minute to go in the 6th round. Hasn't shown that he's hurt. If he is,
took it well.
Rush the game, close that gap, try to get his head safe. Don't know if he can afford to take another one. He takes a short right hand again as he stepped in. Whitaker-Hart just chopping it round the side.
It's better, Chris. That right hand.
He's starting to time him.
He is. He's a lot more spiteful with a shot.
Tell you what though, Ridings has shown a good chin. He's taken them well so far. The legs
A bit unsteady.
a little bit unsteady.
Take a step, boys.
He's just following everything in, isn't he, Ridings? And well, when he can shut that gap down and get safe, it works for him. But he's walked into a couple of big ones in this round, and just this first sense that Whitaker-Hart may have put a dent in him in round 6. 2 to go, clips him on the turn there.
Yeah, brave from Ben Ridings, setting some big shots in this round, but still firing back, looking for the hooks of his own.
Well, we know this man can punch, so we know that Ben Ridings has got a good chin, if we didn't before.
Yeah, best round for Thomas Whitaker-Hart there. More accuracy, more spite in the right hand, really putting them together well. And there was a couple of shots there that I felt Ben Ridings felt. Legs did look a little unsteady a couple of times, but brave effort from the Berry man, firing back with shots of his own. I'm not too sure what happened there, but he's waving Thomas Whitaker-Hart on, which probably isn't the wisest of moves. But yeah, like I say, showing plenty of toughness. But the best round for Thomas Whitaker-Hart for me.
Declan O'Rourke and Joe McNally in the corner with him. You were just saying earlier on the journey over, Darren, what a good trainer Joe McNally has turned out to be, and probably didn't quite get the credit that he deserves at this stage of his career.
He knows the sport inside out, and sometimes you see other coaches getting fanfare and praise, and I know Joe doesn't search for that or look for that, but he's very knowledgeable, very good coach, and glad he's getting the appreciation he should be. Working really well with some really talented fighters, and Thomas Whitaker-Hart certainly is one.
Foul in the corner, make him miss, make him pay, and he's been trying just in those last 3 minutes. On the way in, walked into a couple. Will he again? How many can he take clean? That's going to be the question in these last couple of rounds. Again, just tries to box his way out the corner, but again, Whitaker-Hart just blocking the exit, trying to keep him boxed in.
It's just not enough coming back from Ben Ridings now. I wouldn't quite call it survival, but when you're trying to win this fight, you can't let your hands go, and he's just not throwing them enough, which is a shame. But I do feel he's felt some of those right hands from Whitaker-Hart. There was a nice right uppercut went in from Ben Ridings. He picked that shot well, but just doesn't follow it up enough.
Well, it's been steady front foot pressure from Whitaker-Hart. Darren, and you used the word gears a little bit early on. Kind of the notes I made from the early part of his career was perhaps just lacking the kind of transition from that 3rd to 5th gear. Sometimes fighters need at the top level, and he is heavy-handed and he's physical too. just at times would you like to have seen him kind of crank the pressure up a little bit and see what Ridings?
Yeah, I mean that's all that's been missing for me is just the tempo. But you know, it's understandable with what's gone on in his life and with his health, etc. I get that, but I think moving forward, I'd like to see him just go through the gears. Light heavyweight is one of them divisions, though they're big lumps, they do let their shots go. But this is better from Whittaker Hart.
I think maybe you heard us. He just turned the heat up a little bit on Ben Ridings there.
Yeah, it is a division. They are big lumps, I say, but they really do put a lot of work in. You know, these top class light heavyweights out there, they do set a tough, high pace.
Work up close to Ridings, just did an uppercut, but then Whittaker Hart responded with a right hand, and Ridings again just beckons him on. Penultimate round here in Manchester. Again, Ridings just winging away with that right hand, trying to spring off the ropes, but he finds himself back into the corner, stiff right hand down the middle, and again Ridings just takes it well. We've got a couple of fights on the house card just before this one. JJ Metcalf being that tune-up against Evgeny Varzem, ahead of big fight against Kerman Leharaga in Bilbao the 20th of May. Came through unscathed, 5th round stoppage. Luke Evans was in a hell of a scrap against Miguel Antin. How will this man fare up next with Jordan Thompson? Tyson Fury said he hits as hard as anybody he shared a ring with, and we know who he has shared a ring with. And well, I heard the crack of the pads at the open workout on Wednesday. Darren, this young man is an extremely exciting talent at cruiserweight.
I mean, what a time to be. Jordan Thompson really, really does box so well. It sets everything up. That right hand really is a dangerous weapon for him.
28th and final round here in Manchester. Thomas Whittaker Hart has taken charge of the contest. Ben Ridings moving early, boxed his way out of corners, but has been the Liverpool man who's landed the significant shots as this fight has progressed. Again, Ridings trying to feint and draw a lead from the Liverpool fighter as they close up.
Yeah, let's see a big finish here from Thomas Whittaker Hart. Really let the shots go. He's boxed well, he's been intelligent. Credit to Ben Ridings, he's tried to look at that right hand as he's been backed into the corner, but the work rate, the tempo's just not been there.
Lovely uppercut there, just did the right thing and aimed low, but again Ridings just backs him up off the uppercut too. That's probably been the shot that he's landed with the most regularity. Certainly the eye-catching shots that have come from the Berry fighter have been up the middle with the rear hand.
So every time they've come close together, see Whittaker Hart is always looking to tap two shots and drop to the body, and it just allows Ben Ridings to grab hold and spoil the work. I think it's better once he gets there and he's in position, Thomas Whittaker Hart, and you're poised to throw the shots, just let them go.
He's holding.
I'll tell you what though, he's had 23 rounds in his career before this. These are 8 valuable ones since his return. Really good win over Jermaine Spring. I think he fought 4 times that year, and he looked like he was gathering momentum and going to be in the domestic mix. This is exactly the kind of fight that he needed. Just a little bit awkward, tricky, making him think, making him work at times, getting caught with a few shots here and there, without being too much of a grinder and a major test for him. He's been comfortable and in control throughout the contest, but we've just given that confidence now that I'm ready to step up a level, get in the mix with some of those fighters a little further up the tree that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, but everyone wants to get the stoppage, the knockout, and after that brutal body shot last time against Ben Thomas, he would have liked to have followed that up, don't get me wrong, with another knockout, but I'm pretty sure him and his team will be over the moon. It's completed 8 rounds, it was comfortable enough. There's, you know, there's things to work on, no doubt. No one's a finished article, but oh, big right hand, that was a lovely shot. He took that well, Ridings.
Well, he turned straight through it, and Ridings has held on there with just under 30 seconds to go, but he's shown some chin throughout this when he has been caught clean. We know that Whittaker Hart can really punch. He digs away to the body, just trying to set something else up upstairs. Ridings needs to try and stay low here and stay out of trouble. see out that final belt. And again, just a little glimmer of frustration just shot through the eyes of Whittaker Hart as he escaped to the right once again, and it looks like he is going to escape to the final belt.
Right. Again. First shot. Last 10, bro. Last 10. Come on, big man. Come on, Ben.
Nice double jab right hand there from Ridings. Left hook on the belt. And that was a really, really good 8 rounds for both fighters.
Yeah, I guess you call that textbook, really. Boxed nice. He didn't take any risks, unnecessary risks. Boxed well behind the jab as the fight started progressing. He started to find the range with that right hand. Said it before, throws it with such variation to the body. You can see him when he jabs to the head. He likes to dip the knees and throw the right to the body. Can throw it as a hook, as a straight shot. So it was good as the contest wore on. Ridings was always trying to pose problems and was making life difficult at times with his movement. He was firing back with right hands as he was backed into the corner, but there just wasn't enough work. And you could see, you know, we said it early on, the difference in size, really, the natural light heavyweight, Thomas Whittaker Hart.
Yeah, somebody coming up from kind of welter and light middle, really. Now, Rice is standing by with the fighters. David Diamante at centre ring 2. Let's hand you over to him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing here in Manchester, England, we go to referee Mark Lyson's scorecard. It reads 78-74 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Thomas Whittaker Hart.
Yeah, decent win for Thomas Whittaker Hart. He moves on to 7-0. Well, we see him in with the likes of Ian Conroy, Ricky Summers, Jose Burton, maybe Shackle Fitters, all guys who have been very competitive at British level. Is he there yet? Do his team believe that he's ready? We'll find out in the coming months, but he'll be pleased with the last 3 months since that illness and torrid time out of the ring that he is back emphatically to winning ways in his last 2. And well, you see on the wide shot there as Whittaker Hart passed out of the ring, Mariano Godinho just makes his way in and awaits the arrival of the 6'7" cruiserweight Jordan Thompson from Manchester. He is ready to ring walk, so let's hand you over without further ado to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, live on Dazn, we are set to go with our next contest, 8 rounds in the cruiserweight division. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and we're sponsored by Betfred and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Liverpool, A-star referee, Mr. Mark Lyson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the cruiserweight division. Introducing first, now making his way to the ring, please welcome Jordan Thompson.
Well, every now and again, a fighter appears from relative obscurity, and the wider public asks how on earth they didn't hear about them before, and that is very much the case for Jordan Thompson. A real sense from the boxing fraternity. We have somebody very special on our hands. The words of Tyson Fury, who brought him in ahead of the 2 Wilder fights. The last 2, he said he believes that he's going right to the top. He's extremely tall, rangy, razor-sharp hands, and importantly, has lights-out power. There are still questions for him to answer, as there rightly should be for someone at 12-0. There is a very solid crop of domestic cruiserweights who we'll see 2 of later on tonight, and they've tried and tested themselves regularly against each other in the last 3
Ladies
years.
and gentlemen, let's try this again. Once again from Manchester, England, we are set to go with an 8-round cruiserweight affair. We are live on Dazn, and this bout is being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. It's sponsored by Betfred and JD Sports. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Liverpool, A-star referee, Mr. Mark Lyson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the cruiserweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with the white and blue trim. He scaled 14 stone 3 pounds. His professional record, 14 victories, 5 defeats. He's got 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Belleville, Cordoba, Argentina. Here is Mariano El Angel Gudino. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the purple trunks with the gold trim. He scaled 14 stone 1 pound. His professional record, a perfect one. 12 fights, 12 victories, 10 of them coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Manchester, England. Here is the purveyor of artistic violence, Jordan Troublesome Thompson.
Tell you to break clean, defend yourselves at all times, boys, okay? Go up to your both, touch gloves, Jordan.
Well, Gudino, notorious for enjoying a little bit of needle beforehand. He did so against Lawrence Okoli in the build-up. You may remember they kind of forgot to come to him at the press conference in the build-up to that contest. He wasn't happy about it, and he talked plenty in the build-up, but when he felt the power on the gloves early of the now WBO cruiserweight champion, he got on his bike, and Darren, I have to say, I think both of our instincts, the very same could happen here.
Yeah, I think so. Gudino, look, when he fights and bites down on his gumshoe and lets the shots go, he's not a bad fighter. He moves his head really well, he can move his feet, as you can see there. But he is guilty of pouring the jab and can be caught with a right hand over the top. And with someone like Jordan Thompson, who punches ridiculously hard with that right hand, he's going to have to be careful. I can't see any way that he can win this contest, so you straight away see now he's almost in survival mode instantly. So Jordan Thompson, he's got to remain patient, he's got to get behind that jab, plenty of feints, try and draw out that lead. Like I say, that pouring jab that comes out from Gudino, try and look for that right hand over the top. Really is an excellent fighter, Jordan Thompson. Gets behind that jab, he measures the distance so well with it. You see the variation there, drop down to the body, punches so hard, and sometimes with fighters that punch so hard, you can be guilty of firing to the head all the time, but he doesn't. He mixes it up really, really well. Good variation, and yeah, just a bit of patience required, I think, early on against Gudino.
Yeah, Coley hit him with a jab downstairs as he was on the turn, just softened him up and took him out a little later on in the contest. And Jordan Thompson knows he's got variation, he can fight going forwards and backwards, but I think he was kind of maybe being kind with his assessment of a man that really would feel his power and do really what he's doing now, and it will be down to him to slow him down, to break him up, be patient, and of course just watch out for what comes back at him when he is in attack mode. Minutes to go in the first round. If you're just joining us on Before the Bell, Chris Lloyd here with Darren Barker alongside me as usual, live from the Manchester Arena. All the action to come on Dazn at 7 o'clock local time, just over half an hour from now.
Yeah, feet would be important in this contest, and Jordan Thompson's going to have to close that ring down, try and cut it off, try and pin Gudino into the corner onto the ropes. You can already see the approach Gudino's coming into this fight with. Move, frustrate Jordan Thompson, stay away from that big right hand. Like I say, does move his head and feet well, so patience key for Jordan Thompson. Good right hand to the body there.
Oh, Godinho tried to lift his left leg up there. He sort of barreled in. Just loops right hand over the top. Thompson just rode it on the shoulder, now just boxes him into the corner, just trying to lay back and bring him onto something. Oh, Godinho spun himself right the way around there. A little spurt from Jordan Thompson.
It's like you on the dance floor, that, Chris.
No, don't tell everybody. It's bank holiday weekend. Maybe later. Well, good tune to kick in right, right when we needed it. And one man who will be enjoying the party a little bit later on, Campbell Hatton, who makes his Manchester Arena debut, having grown up watching his dad box here, and scaled him back the last 4 or 5 months, just moved him around the European circuit, put him a little further down on cards after a difficult night on the AJ Usyk undercard at Spurs Stadium, where frankly he just boxed in front of way too many people. I think the occasion got to him, and that will all come in good time. But his dad, Ricky, knows all about how to prepare for those big occasions. If you're a British fight fan, you can't not remember those nights against Costa Zoo, the brilliant effort he put in over in Vegas against Floyd Mayweather. And of course, the man who tops the bill tonight knows all about the pressures and expectations of a famous fighting surname. And it took Conor Benn 4 or 5 years to really step out of his dad's shadow and create a reputation of his own. He has done so. And he's in another test against the Southpaw veteran, South African Chris Van Heerden. Top of the bill here, live on Dazn later on tonight. Jordan Thompson, though, in full control at the start of the second round. Godinho just on his bike, moving around the outside of the ring.
Good jab to the body to start the second round, Jordan Thompson. That's key as well, to try and slow the movement of Godinho down, work the body. Oh, right uppercut, beautiful shot.
He's stunned on the seat of his pants, Mariano Godinho, and I don't know if he's going to make it. Mark Lyson looking into his eyes, and he knows that the Argentinian is protesting, but he just couldn't afford to take one more of those. That was a savage counter from Jordan Thompson, and it is all over in the blink of an eye.
What a shot that was. I mean, that was textbook. That was how you deliver a right uppercut. What a shot.
Well, I need to remind you, it took Lawrence Okoli 7 rounds to break this man up. It's taken Jordan Thompson barely 4.5 minutes. And Mariano Godinho, well, he's a brave man to have got to his feet. Let's just watch this. He's rushing in, and Thompson had already read the pattern of the movement. And that uppercut, just savage. He never saw it coming.
Yeah, Godinho, the shorter man, went to let his hands go. Jordan Thompson see that. He see the foot movement of Godinho and just fired out that beautiful, short, sharp right uppercut. I mean, it was textbook. It really was. The timing to land a shot like that.
And you mentioned how short it was too. I was just looking at that as well. Just didn't load up, didn't wind up with it at all. Just straight from the hip.
Beautiful shot. Really, really was well timed. The speed, the accuracy, and again, just showing us how hard he really hits. Tremendous power in that right hand.
Okay, well, David Diamante has the official particulars. Let's head over to
Ladies
him.
and gentlemen, referee Mark Lyson calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 47 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated from Manchester, England, Jordan Troublesome Thompson.
Well, I think he could be in some show-stopping encounters at both cruiser and heavyweight in the next 3 or 4 years. And to think he was contemplating his future in the sport as recently as 18 months ago, before linking up with Brian Peters, who opened a few doors of opportunity for him. And, well, what a good decision that turned out to be. When you look at the domestic cruiserweight mix, guys like Richard Riakporhe pushing for world titles, Bilal Smith and Tommy McCarthy, of course, contesting the European later on, Jack Massey, Mikhail Lawal, Dion Juma, even names like Luke Watkins, who've been a little inactive, but Well, you wouldn't really count him out against any of those fighters, even at this stage. Just going to be a little bit of experience and rounds under his belt, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be difficult matching Jordan Thompson now, I think. I don't think he's far off at all. Like you say, it's rounds and experience that is required from Jordan Thompson, but I am a massive fan. I really am. He's a tremendous talent.
Well, that is what is to come on the main card. Starts at 7 o'clock, so just over 25 minutes time from now. Jack Cullen coming back after that defeat to Kevin Lele Sajo for the European super middleweight title. He's up against a tough Vladimir Beluski to open the show. Alicia Baumgartner defends her WBC World Super Featherweight title against Soledad Matisse, the sister of Lucas, former two-time world champion herself. And then Campbell Hatton in his Manchester Arena debut at lightweight against Ezekiel Gregores. And then, of course, what a brilliant chief support. Chris Billen-Smith and Tommy McCarthy agreeing to run it back after such a closely fought contest at cruiserweight for the European title at Fight Camp last summer. We didn't necessarily know that we would see this again, but we're glad that it has happened, and all eyes will be on that ahead of the main event. And that main event, of course, is between these two. Can Conor Benn march on towards world level and prove that he is one of the best at 147? He has to pass another test at fringe world level in Chris Van Heerden, who has been in with some of the best fighters in the world in this division. He's tall, rangy, southpaw, knows his way around the ring, but will inactivity cost him later on tonight? Ben, Darren, has been in some form in his last 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah, the trajectory's just been exactly how they wanted it. The improvements has been spot on. Works so hard in the gym. You're always telling us how he's crushing it, etc. But the patience on the man has been impressive as well, because he wants to fight everybody. He really does. They're really trying to pull on the reins and, you know, get it right for him. Eddie said it's always a work in progress. Well, remember, he doesn't have much of an amateur pedigree, so he's learning on the job. But this is another challenge for Ben this evening.
Yeah, you can sense a little bit of frustration, can't you, from fans who want to see him in with stiffer tests. But of course, for him, this is an integral part of the phase that he's got to go through before he gets to that level, because once you get there, if you get there, there is no going back. And will this be the last box checked before Conor Benn moves on? We'll find out later on tonight, all live from the Manchester Arena on DAZN, starting at 7 o'clock. Thanks for your company here on Before the Bell. Chris Lloyd and Darren Barker, we will see you on the other side of 7 o'clock.
I love to fight. If that ain't motivation, and I don't know what is.
Conor is an emotional, angry fighter. He cannot box with me.
I belong up there with the elite.
Main event, eyes on you.
If they don't want to believe, I'll make them believe.
It's been a phenomenal rise. Oh, good one. 2 is down.
He's not a boxer. Ben has not walked the road I've walked. I didn't have a last name to carry me in my boxing career. I had to dig the hard way. Finally, I'm getting my shot.
April 16, I'm coming to win.
The end goal for me is becoming world champion, which is what I will become.
I gotta get past Ben.
And that's that.
This is it.